Hello, you're listening to another bonus episode of Storytelling Saga, the podcast that shares stories. I don't know why I'm doing the weird inflections. I'm your host, Hallie, and I am talking more about the Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder. Alright, so, since watching that Roy Nokio episode, against my better judgment, I just went ahead and watched the whole series. It's only one season of the Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder. I'm honestly just so amazed by the fact that this show was greenlit in the first place and that it must have done just so poorly that they removed it altogether. I can't wrap my head around it. It's really interesting to me. It just is. And I don't know why I wanted to watch this. It just stems from sheer morbid curiosity, because it 100% is for kids, this show. It's not for fans of the original show. I mean, the only thing they maintain is Cosmo and Wanda. Occasionally Jorgen shows up too. Oh, and also what was super weird is Crocker. I'll get into that too. But so, I mean, I can't believe I just find it so, I've never seen, I'm already can't collect my thoughts. Let me take a moment. Okay. I don't recall offhand any other show where they rebooted it and then it did so poorly that they canceled it, and now they're rebooting it in an entirely different way. So I'm so curious about that upcoming Fairly OddParents reboot where it's going to be CGI and they're going to have a new godchild, Cosmo and Wanda. I just love the staying power of Cosmo and Wanda themselves. You know what would be funny? It's just put them in just drop them into other Nicktoons, just see where that goes. I don't know. You already had the crossover with Jimmy Neutron. Just pop them into the new Rugrats reboot. I'm kidding, but I'm sort of not. I don't know. That would just be fucking funny. No, I don't know. Put them in other live action shows, see where that goes. No, okay. I'm telling you, no. Honestly, with Fairly OddParents, I still think it would be more interesting to just focus on the fairies and their lives in fairy world outside of being godparents. What would be cool is doing a prequel with Cosmo and Wanda and the earlier versions of them, maybe when they're going through Fairy Academy or something, basically before they become godparents. I think that could be something interesting. But obviously they're not going that route because already what's mentioned is that they have a new godchild named Hazel. But, this is just me throwing out random ideas as if, anyone, I mean, it doesn't matter, whatever. But I'm give me a crack at a Fairly OddParents reboot, executives out there. I could, because I grew up with the franchise, with the original series. I have ideas. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Okay, so with this Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder, again, it's mostly a cheesy family sitcom. And there's so much cheesy sitcom antics, and again, I just kind of suspend my disbelief and not take it too seriously because, again, I know it's for a younger generation. It's not it's for Gen Z, basically. And it just feels like two different things where the actors, they're talented, they sing and dance, so they have cool stuff like that with performing and everything, but then just Cosmo and Wanda appear every now and then, and that feels separate in a way. But I mean, they interact obviously with their new god kids, but it's just, I mean, this show clearly is on a shoestring budget because there's the same sets, just with different set dressings. It's they had very little to work with. I'm just so amazed by this show. I just really am. It feels like a parody. It doesn't feel like a real show. It feels like a fever dream. I've said all this before. If you listen to my episode before when I talked about Roy Nokio. And my God. But what I do like about it is the characterization of Cosmo and Wanda, because again, in the show itself, in the original show, as the show went on, they leaned more into that super awkward trope of the nagging wife and idiot husband, and it's so fucking cringy to me. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm just really not. It doesn't age well. It's But so thankfully in this there's none of that. It's really just Cosmo and Wanda as a team again. And that first episode where it's quote unquote Timmy, that ain't Timmy. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not Timmy Turner. How is Timmy Turner first off going to Princeton? I guess he applied himself in high school, but whatever. The premise was just he gives his fairies to his cousin Viv, and then Roy just like falls at the inopportune moment. So then they have to share them because Roy, it says it in the theme song, he's a local star. Like he's like a popular kid. So ordinarily he wouldn't have fairy godparents. But I guess like his whole thing is he has to learn to not be selfish and like, impulsive because like he's a younger, like he's like 11 or something, and Viv is maybe, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, 13, 14 maybe. But what's weird too is, so like they get Cosmo and Wanda, but what's weird also is like the parents, because the mom is the stepmom to Vivian, but they're both blonde. So I first thought that the mom, like that was her mom, but no, in fact, Roy, like she's Roy's biological mom, and then Ty Turner, who just looks like a live action Timmy Turner's dad. So I guess that's his brother then. That's, again, you got to really just suspend your disbelief and like not be so attached to the lore of the OG Fairly OddParents. Because again, the whole thing with giving Cosmo an ex-girlfriend is gross to me too. I don't like that. It would have just worked better if it was just some random fairy who like had a crush on Cosmo. Not that they actually dated. That would have been more interesting to me. Because with her flirting with him, and it's like gross. No wonder Wanda sucker punched that bitch. But I'm all over the place. Yeah, so Timmy was just there, and then he's gone after the pilot. So he just, it's like, here, take my fairies, Viv. And, they do like a quote-unquote heart, it's not even, like, they do like a teary goodbye, like where they're crying. Like he's like he has his hands out, and then Cosmo and Wanda are crying, and then Roy says, oh, I wish he wasn't sad. And then immediately he's like, all right, see you guys. And it's like, bye, Timmy. That's it. Yeah, whatever. So bye, Timmy. You go off to Princeton. And like Jorgen shows up every now and then just to remind them of like the rules, and Jorgen's the boss again. I mean, there was like a loophole basically where he's like, oh yeah, no, Jorgen's letting me give you guys away because he wasn't paying attention. He was like fucking playing video games. He's like, oh sure, you can give them away as long as no one else finds out. But then when Roy finds out, then he's like, oh, well, so instead of losing them, you'll just take turns making wishes. So, that's the premise right there. And then there's this girl who shows up throughout the show too, who's like in love with, like obsessed with Roy. That's her whole character. So there's that. I forget her name already. Like the details just really just doesn't click in my head. I'm just watching this. I don't fucking care. But mostly what interested me was just seeing Cosmo and Wanda. Like I'd be paying attention to Cosmo and Wanda in the background of the scene. Like they're still like their little fish selves, and there's sometimes their squirrel selves, and there's like moments too where Cosmo and Wanda just like hold up signs trying to get Viv's attention or whoever. And I don't remember what happens in the episode, the context again, I don't remember, but like there's a part where Wanda holds something up, and then like Cosmo holds up a conflicting sign, then like he flips it around saying what Wanda said. Like that was cute too. What's weird also was that since this is geared towards like Gen Z, then there's more pop culture references with stuff like that, where Cosmo at one point says, oh, for the love of Lin-Manuel Miranda, will you stop talking about Lin-Manuel Miranda? So it's just weird him saying like relevant stuff from, that kids would find. It's just weird, stuff like that. Or when they're going to make a viral song, and then Wanda warns them, don't put it up to an 11, and of course they do, and then like Cosmo gets angry saying, yeah, Olivia Rodrigo keeps it at a 10. You're saying Olivia Rodrigo isn't, like, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Cosmo? Talking about Olivia Rodrigo. That's weird. I don't know. Shit like that is weird. But for the most part, though, Cosmo and Wanda, I like their characterization, and then Wanda still like being the voice of reason, but then her and Cosmo, and like they're cute, and again, like it helps that Suzanne Blakesley and Darren Norris still voicing them, which I doubt, like, because I know in the original series they would record together, and like it definitely shows, because a lot of times they'd have to, and this too like jumps out at me from watching so many episodes of the original show, that they say things in unison a lot in the original show, so you gotta have like that rapport, so, and like their voices like complement each other so well. But in this show is not as much of that. I don't think there's, like, even when they're introduced, like Cosmo says, where are your fairy godparents and stuff. I'm trying to remember anything else. This is all just a discombobulation of random thoughts and stuff that jumped out at me in this show. Because for the most part, though, again, it feels like a fever dream, and it's just fucking wild. But, they use like click clock instead of TikTok. There's like a reporter lady called Judy Stoneface, who's just like no nonsense, like this stone-faced reporter who's basically like, the antithesis of Chet You Betcha. Yeah, so I'm like dragging my hands down my face, like, what did I watch, man? Whatever. The things I liked, again, Cosmo and Wanda, because, they're just like being cute. They have more like cute stuff here and there. Like in the first episode, there's just like a cute thing where, again, like I'm not paying attention to the fucking live action, just paying attention to Cosmo and Wanda. Cosmo does like this little like point and wink thing, and then Wanda has like heart eyes. I was like, oh, look at these two like being all flirty and cute. I liked that. I don't know, the animation though is like, again, shoestring budget. There is one episode where like they're just like taking a day off for themselves, and like they're in Fairy World, and boy, the animation, I don't know, but they're like just doing their own thing, and then I don't know, Cosmo says something and I don't fucking remember, and then Wanda's like, oh, I love it when you talk fancy, and like they're just like shopping or something. That was cute. Or what else? Oh boy. There's like a later episode where Viv wishes everything was like this soap opera that she likes. What was cute too is that Cosmo likes the soap opera, and then Wanda was more into like this action show that Roy likes. I liked that kind of switch. That kind of works well for their characters. Like, I thought it was cute. And Cosmo, he was like eating like these cupcakes or something. They just kept like reappearing, which was cute. Like, see, just small details like that I got a kick out of. Just, that was cute. He just keeps like eating, and then they just keep poofing up more. Like, that was cute. And mostly like the core of it is the relationship with Viv and Roy as new step siblings and stuff like that. I don't really care about, like, that's the thing. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just here for Cosmo and Wanda. The other thing was, so Vicky, they have Vicky. The actress did a great job, but the new version of Vicky was something else, let me tell you. But she did a great job, though, the person who played her. She's also a great singer. She had the attitude of Vicky, like twerps, like whatever, saying stuff like that. She is like a student teacher now. So the thing is, so let me see. So Timmy going off to college, that would mean he's 18. So that would mean Vicky's 24 because she's 16 in the original show. So 8 years later, yeah, that tracks. And then again, like small things, like I don't remember. I mean, again, I just binged this all in like a fucking, oh boy, just like it all blends together. But there was like a part where she's in her closet. She has like this whole shrine dedicated to being obsessed with fairies, or like it was Crockers, I guess. Basically, she has this whole obsession with Crocker, which is gross and creepy. Like, she's in love with Crocker. And I was like, well, how old is Crocker supposed to be? At the very least, he's... in the show, he has to be like 40s, give or take. So then that means he's like in his 50s, give or take. No, so that age difference. So if he's like twice her age, that's fucking gross and disturbing. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I mean, she, at one part, I don't remember. I'm just like, there's random things that like stuck in my head. And there's one part like when she's sitting in the closet, and then she has like, she's eating pancakes, and they're called like after school closet pancakes or some fucking weird shit like that. And then she's like, oh, it must be fairies. Like, she's like doing like that whole Crocker vibe. And then in the last episode, we finally see Crocker. He was like in a mental institution, so he like escapes or something. And amazingly, he's played by Carlos Alazraqui. So it's doing the Crocker voice. He's got the glasses, and that was fantastic. Again, that's what makes it feel like a fever dream, like a parody. It's like, wait, he's playing the character now in real life. Again, I don't know why. I'm pretty sure he didn't play Crocker in the Fairly Odd, whatever, that movie, Grow Up Timmy Turner. I'm surprised he didn't in that too, because Darren Norris played Timmy's dad in that. Anyway, you see him all over the place with this fucking episode, so I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm trying to retain whatever jumped out at me watching this show. Also, I'm trying to remember something else. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I mean, like, they were singing and dancing, and like, their whole plan, like Vicky's saying they're going to go to the Rancho Cucamonga in the springtime. I can't sing, pardon me. But they sing, they got like the Broadway vibes. They were singing and dancing. That's like when Cosmo and Wanda were captured. They're like in these jars or something. I don't know. Like to go to Fairy World. And then it ends with like Crocker in Fairy World prison. Like an ominous note of like, how's he going to escape or something. Yeah. Is that about it? That's about like all I gotta say. I think there was probably more stuff with Cosmo and Wanda that I thought was cute. Oh yeah, like there was a part, I don't know, with like them dancing. Cosmo like grabbed her and twirled her. That was cute. I don't know. There's a part also with like a Godzilla parody that looked, again, gosh, they're just really working with what they got, but I don't know. It was they got eaten basically, and then they had to like use the wands. It was fucking weird. There was another episode where they bring back the time scooter and they like use it to stop their parents from breaking up or something, or like they do break up, but then they didn't break up, so then because of that, then they never met their other parents, because since then like they broke up and got back together down the line, like, you know, later on in life, to then remarry or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't think you care about the plot details either. I don't know. But yeah, Vicky was funny, but it's just creepy and weird having her have a crush on Crocker when he's like twice her age. That's gross. But like the time scooter, and then like, you know, referencing 90s stuff. There's like Macarena. There's like, I don't know, making 90s references to songs and like 90s shows and stuff. I'm blanking on them in this moment, but I don't know. There was stuff like that. There was like a part where the parents were like dressed as like a chicken and a duck, and they're like, we don't have to explain ourselves to you. And then Cosmo and Wanda poof in dressed the same way, and then Cosmo's like, we don't have to explain ourselves to you. And I'm thinking, oh, weird sex stuff, huh? Oh boy. Yeah, so it has its moments, the show, but wow, so I don't know. Wow, man, it was a trip watching this. It really was. I don't know. That's about all I gotta say, I guess. It just was fucking weird. God damn. But I guess we'll see where that other reboot goes. Hopefully it does better than this show. It's too bad, but oh boy, that was something else. That's about it, so I don't know how to end these bonus episodes, so talk to you later. Till next time. Have a good one.